Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. As you can see, these are my boxed oracle sets. Okay, so I'm going to go through and share some of my share these oracle decks to begin with, so you can see the collection that I actually have. Now you'll see walkthroughs and things like that on my channel of all of these decks. So I'm actually not going to go through completely and show you everything about every deck. I'm just going to go through and very briefly explain a little bit about each deck. So this is the first part of my oracle collection. So this is just to sort of show you some of my decks. Let's begin with the shamanic medicine card. So let's bring this down a little bit. Let's see if I can. There we go. How's that? Okay, so let's begin with the shamanic medicine cards. This is an oracle deck. Okay, so this does come with a book, but it's my books elsewhere. I'm just going to show you a couple of the cards. Now this deck I love because it's got directions, it's got the element, it's got the elements, the directions, it's got the world, the three worlds, it's got tools, it's got so much in this deck. It's just gorgeous. The artwork's gorgeous. And what I love about this is it has one keyword, and from that keyword you can then start to expand the imagery. Look at the imagery. What does the image tell you? That's what I love about these. Let me just show you quickly. This is going to take a little while, I suppose. I'm going to break this down maybe into small parts, but say we're doing a shamanic medicine card reading and you're going to focus on for meditation, and you can look at the book, no problem at all. I mean, that's what I think is so beautiful about working with oracle cards, is you have the ability to work with the books, because the books are provided to give you that in-depth practice if you want to. But if you're doing a quick reading for yourself and you're pulling out one card, and here you get the shaman card here. Okay, so you're getting the shaman, so you're getting the word. So what does shaman mean to you? Okay, and then you're getting the sense of completion. Okay, so what does being complete mean? What does completion actually mean in this process? So you can think of, what does the word shaman mean? Shaman to me is, when I think about the shaman, is I'm thinking about the journey to the spirit world, an ability to find a sense of wholeness within oneself, being able to move ahead into the spirit realm, maybe connecting with animals or spirits in some way to get the message. A lot of time it is working with the spirit animals to get the messages, to feel a sense of wholeness within your own self, within your own journey, a sense of healing on one's journey. So you're able to travel a spiral path or a red road, or whatever your connection to the spirit realm is. I think that's part of the process. So that to me is what this card is asking you to sort of reflect on. Reflect on your connection with the animals, your own healing, a sense of wholeness, a completeness within your ability to move ahead. So that's what I think is really important, is just to look, if you want to really sort of look at this, and I see this bear, and bear to me is a sense of courage, protector. Maybe it's a sense of being protected. You've got this bird here, and this bird could be a sense of messages coming through or flying free. You've got the drum here, so that to me the drum is about your own beat, your own rhythm, maybe to music, to to get into a trance state or a meditative state. You've got the spirals here, so you've got this connection to walking a labyrinth in some way, maybe to walk a spiral path, connecting to the sun in some way. So you've got all these things coming through with this one card, and I love that. I love that, being able to look at the imagery and just write down what I see, create my own resources in some way. So that's what I do with the oracle decks that I do have. Just want to sort of talk to you a little bit about that as we go through the decks that I'm going to choose for today. We might not do everything today, and that's okay. We can do this over a period of a few days and explore the different decks and how we would use them. So this is one way, is just to take one card and to really look at it quite deep. You know, what are the colours that stand out? Yellow is quite strong in here. So it could be looking very much about your solar plexus and how to trust, and or your digestive, you know, how do you digest your experiences in life. Maybe the red stands out, so it's about the vitality, the energy, or the orange, should I say, stands out. So it's more about your sacral energy, your sexuality, your sense of identity. Who are you? What are you about? So all those things could come into play. You might see, oh, the blue stands out for some reason. So it could be a sense of being able to speak your truth, or self-expression, or something like that. So all these things come into play. It could be the brown is quite important. So it's about being grounded. It's about connecting to Mother Earth as you move through this process. So that's one way you can use the deck. I mean, you've seen me use it in past videos with a tarot deck, a Native American tarot deck, or you could use it with any tarot deck that you want to. For me, I like to work in themes. Could be part of the animal process, or the sacred paths, the sacred places oracle. So you could go through and go, you know, here's 3 cards. We've got self, which is abundance, medicine wheel, continuation, and offerings. So what you're looking at here is a sense of abundance coming, prosperity, a sense of wealth on some level, and you've got the sense of things continuing as they move in a cycle. That, to me, when you're talking about continuation, you're talking about a cycle. So, and you're talking about wealth here. So as you've got, so it's interesting, you've got abundance and wealth coming in, and it is a cycle. So to me, it's just things are moving in different levels, and you know, sometimes it's about the abundance and wealth, and sometimes it's about the loss of the abundance and wealth, but it's that continuation of cycles as we all move into that ability. So that's interesting as we come through. And of course, to me, the fire energy is quite strong with the self. Self is very fire energy for me. So that's about connecting to the creative energy as well. So there's a lot of that coming through. So that's how you can sort of basically do a reading here. You're looking at the abundance, you're looking at the wealth of stuff, and it's an acknowledgement of the cycles and things that are going on in the journey. So that's what you can do in regards to working with the shamanic medicine. I mean, there's lots of spreads and lots of things you can try and lots of playing, but that's just a starting point, just to get you started on understanding the way that you could use this oracle deck. I mean, and you can do that with any oracle deck, remember. Okay, so let's look at Colette Baron reads the Spirit Animal Oracle. I think this is another one that's beautifully done. I mean, you want to get into, you know, what do the cards mean? What are the animals thing? Again, I'm not worrying about the book right now. Yes, you can look at the book, and the book is great to look at. Okay, but just to start off with, just to sort of get a feel of the deck, you know, choose a card at random. Okay, you got Lizard Spirit. Dream the world into being. Okay, dream the world into being. So it's, to me, that's like manifesting what you want. So you're just going through, and you're just going to spend some quiet time meditating on that card, and you're looking at the imagery, and you're saying, okay, what's the lizard doing? He's trying to climb to reach the goals that he has. So he's, you know, he's thinking about, you know, what he can do to achieve his goals. And his goals is to reach the top, or, you know, to move ahead. So he's, you know, he's believing that he can achieve it. That to me is so important. As you work through this lizard spirit, as you're looking at the words and you're looking at the imagery and you're thinking, what's he talking about? What's he, you know, what's he thinking when he's thinking about his dreams and his goals? And so you just go through and just do one card at a time. Here you've got groundhog spirit. You've got time to let go. And you're looking at it and it's got a heart here. And there seems to be some tears. Seems to be thing down. He's connecting to his third eye in some way, maybe. So here we have this thing about, when you think of time to let go, it does talk about release, about being able to surrender. So I think working with any oracle deck is just about taking your time. Don't hurry. Don't put yourself under any pressure. Just look at the image. What does it do? Describe what you're seeing. Think about the words that is being put here. You know, what's the artist thought about, or the creator thought about when they thought about groundhog? They're thinking about having to let go. You know, you think about that Groundhog movie where things keep going, you know, they keep repeating themselves. And what happens, you know, when you finally sort of let go and surrender to what's going on, and you just be able to achieve what's important. So I love that with these type of decks. It's just taking your time, spending a bit of quiet time, meditating, reflecting, having a look. It says parrot spirit. Watch your words. Well, what does a parrot do? It repeats maybe what others say. Maybe it learns to speak on its own. Maybe it needs to, you know, it's watching. So it's really about being very careful about what words you repeat, because there are others that could repeat them and out of context and things like that. You know how you can say something and a parrot can repeat the words, but it's out of context and it sounds really bad or rude or whatever, because they don't have the full story to the whole situation. So again, that's that being able to sort of just take your moment, take a breath, and see some of the images and what you see. Now we look at these three together. You've got dream the world into being, time to let go, and watch your words. So to me, this is about manifestation, surrendering to what's possible through your own actions as well. It's sort of being able to surrender and let go, but at the same time take action in what's important. I think that's the message here when I look at these three cards. So again, that's just real slow process of just taking your time and being able to connect on some level. So I just wanted to go through a couple of decks just to show you some of the ways that these decks can be used. So let's look at Lisa Williams, Intuitive Soul Oracle. Again, the book's there and you can use the book. Not a problem. With Oracle decks, why not use the book? The book has so much great information in it. It can help you get what's needed. Here you've got the sense of pure is the word. And the pure is against of innocence, clarity, belief, honesty, and truth. So what does the word pure mean to you? What does innocence mean? What does clarity, belief, honesty, and truth? What do each of those words actually mean? What seem really important? To me, it's about a sense of looking at things from a fresh perspective, having a sense of real clarity in what's actually going on. What do you actually believe in yourself at this time? Are you being honest? Do you have integrity? Are you able to speak your truth at all times? This is what this card to me means. So that's really about looking at this card and saying, well, what are the words actually mean to me? Here we have butterfly with change, transformation, growth, beauty, spread your wings and fly. So I look at this and I get a sense of purity, a sense of cleansing away the debris, to find a sense of clarity, to find what do I actually believe, what truth do I hold, so that I can provide the changes or the transformations that I need to go through to grow, to find the beauty in what's possible, to be able to spread my wings and fly, to be able to move ahead in the direction that I actually want to do. How do I find that truth within myself? How do I actually look at my own beliefs, my own faith, my own spirituality? How do I clear away the debris to find the clarity, the what has been holding me in a sense of confusion at this time? So as I start to move through, I start to get that ability to work out what these cards could actually mean for me, as I look at this sort of sense of youth and innocence and a sense of purity on so many levels, this sense of no debris, this clearing away of the karma or whatever's been going on for me, or the sense of this new beginnings in some way. So that's how I'm working with those. I mean, I can work with them in lots of different ways, but these are just some simple steps as we go through some of these decks. You can start to see how you can build up your own vocabulary. So we've done that to begin with. Let's have a look at just some of the cards we have here. Here I've got the Chinese Oracle, the 2 sets in one, yin and yang. Okay, the feminine and the masculine energies of the 12 animals. What I did was, for really quick reference, is just add these couple of words onto the cards, these little stickers here, and they're just nice and quick and easy for me when I'm doing a reading from each pile. I want to look at my yin and my yang energy from each side. So maybe my yang energy is monkey, which talks about responding rapidly. Maybe I am a bit quick on the what's going on. And here I have the yin energy, which is about listening. So maybe I'm doing things too quickly, I respond too quickly without actually listening to the process. So that's part of what's really important for me. So that's one way I look at working with this deck, is I look at the yang and the yin energy, and I sort of say, now how do they actually go through? Now if I listen, I can actually start to respond. Maybe not so quickly in the situation. I can sort of start to take action on what's important, and then allow myself to actually feel like I'm actually doing what I need to do because I've listened, which is super important. So yeah. And yet the book is absolutely awesome for getting more information. If I sometimes, for a client, I'll grab a book and go, okay, what does this actually mean? What is it thing? See, the books, I think decks like the sacred site, I think to me, the book is really valuable. I'm not going to go through. Maybe over time, I will learn and understand these cards. Oh, card that just flew out now. Here we have the Acropolis. So what does the Acropolis have for us today? So let me just find where the Acropolis is. Okay, this is the East, right? And this is in Greece, and it's page 82. So I think that's really important. Now, the reason why these cards, the books, are quite important is because they actually have 3 aspects to the card. Whether you're looking at the past, of the situation, whether you're looking at the present situation or are you looking to the future. Now the word is inspiration, the energy focus is inspiration. So what has inspired you in the past, what's inspiring you right now, and what will inspire you in the future? But of course there's a whole lot more to the card with this Now it also talks about an invocation, which I think is really important in this deck, is to look at the invocation. So this one's the invocation of Athena. With Athena by your side, you will find your way through the most testing of times. Use these words to summon her power and wisdom. So you go through and read the words and really focus on what that actually means as you look at this card. I think that's really important. So you've gone through, you've had a look at the word as inspiration, you know that it's Athens in Greece, you've looked at what the past means, what does the present mean, what's the potential, and then you do the invocation. So I think it's really important to use the book in this deck, and whether that's for yourself or whether you're doing a reading for a client, I think if you're doing a card for a client, that this is a really important process, is to use the guidebook. Using the guidebook is part of the process, and if you need to use a guidebook, use it. There's nothing wrong with using a guidebook in regards to oracle decks, and I think that's really, and tarot, I think that is when you'll learn. Sometimes the guidebooks just give you that little bit of extra. There might be something you've missed. Yes, you might be able to do a general question or something like that, but generally, you know, here we've got the Crystal Oracle, okay, Crystal Grid Oracle by Nicola McIntosh, right? So these ones here are crystal grids, okay, and it's got a number, it's got the crystal as well, but it's got a message as well. It's got a message and then it's got the crystal. So this one is Light Bringer and it's Candle Quartz. This one is Heart Protection and it's Pink Fluorite. This one is Rebirth with Menatite. Sometimes it will have Smoky Quartz Record Keeper with Knowledge. Insight, Highlight. So here it goes through. And the book provides more crystals that might be in the imagery, okay, and a little bit more information about the words. I mean, these keywords are nice, they're not too bad. So just take a moment to work through and have a look. Look at the colours. Like this is a black, and you've got this light coming in. You've got this candle quartz here. So you know you've got this light bringer. So you're bringing in the light out of the darkness. Here you've got the heart protection. So you're protecting your heart from what's going on. You know, maybe you sort of closed yourself down a little bit because you've been too open in what's actually going on. Here's a sense of feeling a renewal, a rebirthing, a revitalizing, you've gone through a transformation and you have the sense of rebirthing within oneself. Here you've gained some knowledge on what's going on. So here you've gained some insight into what's important. Here you've gained, maybe it's a reminder to have a compassion for somebody else. Might be really important. But you've got this blue here. So the blue could be a sense of your throat chakra. So maybe this is about connecting with your communication or self-expression in some way. So being able to express yourself in a compassionate way might be part of the process. So this is one way just to go through and learn the cards. You know, take your time, don't hurry, enjoy the journey, create your own. You know, we're all different, we all work differently, there's no right or wrong way. For me, in learning this deck here from Tony Salerno, I did little keywords on them. I mean, I know it's a bit rough, but for me, it worked just to find what suited me. The books are great, and yes, always use the books for readings and things. If I'm doing it, if I've got a client, I might do the quick message here, and then go to the guidebook for a little bit more information. The colours can tell you a little bit. Here's one that's actually got fallen off, so I have to go to the guidebook for it, the Tiger Iron. as part of the process, and that's okay. I mean, the artists or the creators create these guidebooks for us to use, and whether we're using them with a client or not. So there's a few decks. I don't want to keep on. I've sort of gone through and sort of explained some of the cards. Here we've got the Goddess Power. So I'm just going through some of the decks, some of the words are on them, like, again, rebirth, independence, wisdom. Here we've got compassion again, and fortune. So there's a lot of similar words. So it's about writing up your own thoughts. What does that actually mean? What colours might be really important with this goddess that you're working with? Here we've got this revelation, and yet there seems to be a lot of pink. So to me, it's a sense of love. You know, what are we, what's revelation mean to you? That something's been revealed, that you have this insight into what's actually going on. And it could be the spark of energy coming through, but it is about coming through with maybe an open heart in some way. So that's what I love about working with oracle decks, is you do have that sense of freedom in regards to working with the imagery in many ways. So here we have the Divine Feminine. Again, what I did was I created numbers on the bottom just so I could find them in the book. So I had some sort of order, because they were the book, guidebook, and that was just so, it was very hard to work with. So it just made it that little bit easier. But again, it's got this, it's got these words here. Here you've got Khadijah, the mother of believers. I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. So that is really an affirmation type deck. So you're working with an affirmation type deck. So what you can do is just go, okay, the message today is about me believing in myself. That's telling me that I'm spiritually and financially abundant. What's another word for abundant? Wealthy. I'm secure in my spirituality and financially. I work hard, I provide for myself. Now, I provide heaven and earth for myself just tells me that I provide totally for who I am and what I'm about. So I'm going to say that this is my daily message. I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. The mother of believers, Khadijah. 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 It's just some of the things that I do just to connect to this energy, just to give you an idea of ways to work with oracle decks. Working with oracle decks are one way to just get the messages that are so important to you to move ahead. So I love the imagery of the Divine Feminine. Again, use the book if need be. I think that's part of the process. Mists of Avalon. Here's another deck that has, now this one here has the name of the card, the title, and it actually has 4 words around the edges. Here it's got 4 words around the edges. Okay, and the images can tell you quite a bit as well in some cases. But again, the book is of benefit. To grab the book, let's have a look at Sir Edwin. Okay, here we have inspiration, rebirth, creativity, and transformation. But we want to see what else. Now, it's got a card number on here, and it's 29, which is good, which makes it nice and easy to look in the guidebook, and I think that's really can be important. So the guidebook talks about inspiration, creativity, transformation, and rebirth. Now the message here is, or the little words here is, surrender yourself to the flow of life and allow your inner light to shine and connect with your divine. Spark as your destiny unfolds. The message, connect with your divine inner knowing and ask what your soul is calling for you to be and do. Take a creative direction and transform yourself and your world into something or someone new. Be confident, express your talent, and let your light shine. And then it goes on to say, there is no greater champion of transformation than Sir Edwin. Cerwedwin. She spent time perfecting her brew in the cauldron that gives the gifts of knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration to those who seek it. It was known by the ancient Celts as Arvin. Sometimes we are given gifts from our psyche unexpectedly, as was the servant boy Guam when he licked the 3 drops from the cauldron of Cerwedwin. When it comes to us by chance, we must be ready to accept it, and the only way we can do this is to transform, to be reborn into someone new, so that we can truly live out these gifts. You encounter the card of Cerwedwin when you are about to take a creative direction. When you finally decide it's time to take up art, join a choir, create crafts, a dress, a quilt, write that novel or book of poetry you've always wanted to do, an interior design course, get a master's degree in fairy tale studies. The possibilities are endless. Cerwedwin gives you the courage to follow through with the deal you've made with yourself. Do you run away from something that's calling you from deep within? Do you stay in a job or a relationship or any situation that is not serving you and is not your greatest calling? When Gwen, the servant boy, ran, the goddess Cerwedwin followed. When he changed shape, so did she, until he turned into a grain, and as the hen, she ate him up. Creativity, wisdom, inspiration, and simply a new way of being and living will find you no matter how much you try to disguise yourself. Now is the time for your transformation. I am open to stepping into the unknown. I am open to stepping into the unknown. So that's what I love. The books are such a benefit when you're working with oracle cards in so many ways. Yes, we can do quick readings with the cards. We can get really good messages. But the books do hold that little bit extra as we move through this process. Okay, so that's enough oracle decks for part 1. Let's continue with part 2 tomorrow. Or shall I do that next week? We'll think about that when I do the next upload. So let's go as I work through these oracle decks and different ways to connect with the cards in some way. And you can use this with any card, with any deck. So don't forget to check the links below, check the links on my channel, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded.